And let's get back into this story. So yesterday we told a little bit about the whole Billboard producers of the 21st century on the Hot 100. They had the full list. They finally released the top five. And it was a bit controversial because we had Beyonce that came in at number 6. But before we get to those top five, I'm not going to do the long-winded video that I did yesterday because I was like, damn, that was a long one. I felt like that video went on, that whole topic went on for like at least a good damn near 30 minutes. But just a quick recap. So, let's see. 25 was Brian Michael Cox. 24 was Will I Am. Then we had 23 was Boy Wonder. 22 was Corey Rooney, who, worked a lot on, for Lopez's debut album. 21 was Greg Kurstin. 20 was Jeff Basker. 19 was The Weeknd. 18 was Oz. 17 was the Smeezingtons. 16 was Scott Storch. 15 was Mariah Carey. 14 was Kanye West. 13 was Taylor Swift. 12 was Danger. 11 was Louis Bell. 10 was Timbaland. 9 was Jermaine Dupri. Benny Blanco was number 8. Jack Antonoff was number 7. Beyonce was number 6. And, they were saying because, she accumulated a lot of, she was essential in a lot of the big hits that came out of Destiny's Child, which of course would be Independent Woman Part 1, Bootylicious, Crazy in Love, Baby Boy, Check on It, Irreplaceable, Break My Soul, Texas Hold'em. So, those are a lot of her biggest hits and her being behind them. But of course, there was people up in the comments that was getting all mad and they were saying like, yeah, well, her and her 27 collaborators, where did she put in the time or whatever the case is to be getting this type of accolade? I'm just relatively confused on how Billboard even came up with this list, because while y'all are highlighting producers like a Jermaine Dupri and a Jack Antonoff and a Max Martin, who are very hands-on behind the scenes, when you throw in somebody like a Weeknd and you throw in somebody like a Beyonce and you throw in somebody like a Mariah Carey and you throw in somebody like a Taylor Swift, it's like, I understand when you look at Mariah Carey, it's always Mariah Carey and the producer. It's Taylor Swift and the producer because it's a co-collaboration. And then it's The Weeknd and the producer. So it's close. So I get that. That makes sense. But then when you look at Beyonce and her being put in there, they knew by putting her in there it was be controversial. Then people's bringing up how many Grammys she won. I said, okay, that's besides the point. The Grammys and all that other stuff have nothing to do with being included with greatest producer of the 21st century, because she hasn't won a Grammy for best producer. She won a Grammy for in the arts department. So when we're talking about the music and being the talent, that is where she's been winning a lot of her Grammys, not from producer. So I'm genuinely trying to sit here and understand what was the reason that they brought her up in here. So now I get, like, when you bring it up one artist with the producer because it's a co-collaboration. But then when you look at the liner notes and you see Beyonce with 80 people up in the credits, because I understand you got the samples and all the stuff. Which then again, and then somebody was like vocal stacking. So I said, so we not putting Brandy up in there then? Because Brandy popularized. I'm not saying she started it or created it or whatever the case is, or invented it, but she popularized vocal stacking. And it all came up. So yeah, so one person, so I can reiterate this again, said, please take a breath and understand that being a producer is not about making a beat, because I had said something, I was being messy. And was saying, oh yeah, what beats do she make? Somebody said, I'm gonna not respond to this post. I can already see MF bowing in front of her. Oh my God. And I got all these dumb queens jumping up into my comments with they bullshit. Come on, producing isn't just about the beat. It also includes vocal arrangement, which she has been doing since DC. I know that. So so when it comes to her producing, it's a lot about the vocal arrangements and stuff. So it's like, okay, so is that why? But that's not what they said in this whole situation. They said her work behind the board proves that she's not just the face of her music, but also a creative force behind the whole enterprise. So it could be based off of keep having a good, strong ear, because like I said, I have that same gift as well. When I was growing up learning how to play classic piano, I was somebody who had the ability, still does have the ability to hear music differently the way other people would. I can't read sheet music, but if I hear it, I can play it back and stuff on a classic piano, because that's how I learned when I was a kid growing up in Brooklyn. Shout out to my teacher, music teacher, Miss Dunstan. I don't know if she's still alive though, but so yeah, there was a whole big discourse around all of that. And what I had said in response to that, because I'm gonna cut up this video instead of doing that long-winded one that I did, what I had said was, I was being messy, because I like to be messy to cause controversy, and people just be too damn obtuse to see what I be doing. So yeah, I was being messy in my headline, but I'm aware it takes more than making beats to be considered a producer. Diddy is not a beat maker, but he is one of the biggest producers in the game. Beyonce is good at curating ideas, gathering some of the best writers and producers to bring her ideas to life. She's also good at producing her own melodies on her tracks. If that's what they are taking into account, then okay. However, she should not be higher than Mariah Carey and Taylor Swift on Billboard's list. Billboard knows their list is meh. So by positioning her at number 6 and not revealing their top 5 will get people talking. So, and that's the way they did it. They did that intentionally. On Thursday, when we did this topic, they just released the top 6. And then today, being Friday, they dropped the top 5. So speaking of 5, let's get into it. So they got some top 5. Number 5 is Stargate, who produced songs like Neo So Sick, Beyonce's Irreplaceable, Katy Perry's Firework, Rihanna's Take a Bow, Rude Boy, Only Girl in the World, What's My Name featuring Drake and Diamonds, and Wiz Khalifa's Black and Yellow, Black and Yellow, Black and Yellow. So they said that few producers' matches run during that era, and this tandem legacy is cemented as one of the most successful production duos in Hot 100 history, along the likes of Ashford and Simpson, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and the Neptunes. Now, number 4, they got Taylor Swift's producer for her new album, Shellback, who produced a lot of big hits, including Britney Spears' 1, 2, 3, you know that song, 3. And then, he is a protege of Max Martin. He produced Pink's Raise Your Glass, Maroon 5's Moves Like Jagger, which I just heard Maroon 5 just released a new album today. One More Night, also, which is a Maroon 5 track. Taylor Swift's We Are Never Getting Back Together, Shake It Off, Blank Space, Bad Blood, and Justin Timberlake's Can't Stop the Feeling, which I hate that damn song. And then he has 9 number 1s. They said he's responsible for furthering the impact of Swedish producers in American pop, delivering anthems that still resonate. He has continued to work other big hitters in pop, including Adele, Ariana Grande, Katy Perry, Ed Sheeran, and SZA. And I don't understand why Katy Perry didn't just work with Shellback on 143 instead of working with Dr. Puke. Number 3, I'll tell you, this is about to get controversial because, first of all, it is absolutely disrespectful that y'all got Timbaland up in here, but you don't have Missy Elliott, and you don't have, well, you didn't put Madonna up in there too, because Madonna is someone who's very prominent in co-producing her stuff with producers. But also, they didn't have Missy Elliott up in there, and you didn't put the Neptunes. How the fuck you put Timbaland, but no Pharrell, or even the Neptunes? But Pharrell was producing a lot of stuff post, him and Chad. But how you don't have him up in there? We don't get to the list. Get through this list, but yeah, it's a mess, and this is flat out disrespectful. So yeah, now who do we say? I don't think, oh yeah, we didn't, I don't think I did say. Now, number 3 is Circuit, who has pretty much produced Flo Rida's Good Feeling, Katy Perry's Part of Me, which I'm like, I don't know why she didn't work with him. You should have went with Circuit, or maybe he was working with Gaga at the time, because he did produce a lot of Mayhem. So, and also he's a part of Ava Max, but we're about to get in that Ava Max story after this one, because it's a mess. So, he also worked on Miley Cyrus's Wrecking Ball. He produced Katy Perry's Roar, and like I said, Part of Me, Perry's Dark Horse, and Pitbull's Timber featuring Kesha, The Weeknd's Starboy featuring Daft Punk, Maroon 5's Girls Like You featuring Cardi B, Sam Smith and Kim Petras' Unholy, The Weeknd's Die For You with Ariana Grande, and Jungkook's Seven featuring Lotto. So Circuit is definitely that dude when it comes to a lot of the productions. He also worked on songs from Charlie XCX's Brat, and like I said, he did Lady Gaga's Mayhem album and also Rosé's Rosie. So Circuit definitely deserves to be on this list because he has come out with a lot of really good stuff. And you know, he had that Ava Max sound, which he pretty much gave to Lady Gaga, because I guess they were saying that if you're going to give it to second rate Gaga, which quite as some people say Gaga is second rate Madonna, then I might as well work with him on Mayhem. So now, number 2, I told you about to get controversial. They put Dr. Puke on here. So, but you know, regardless of the allegations, we cannot deny that he has largely defined pop in the late 2000s or early 2010s, thanks to an industrial output and bulletproof formula. Now, after co-producing Kelly Clarkson's Since You've Been Gone with Max Martin in 2005, he quickly became the go-to architect of maximalist top 40 hits. His credits include 17 Hot 100 number ones, Avril Lavigne's Girlfriend, Katy Perry's I Kissed a Girl, Clarkson's My Life Will Suck Without You, Flo Rida's Right Round, Kesha's TikTok, Perry's California Girls featuring Snoop Dogg and Teenage Dream, Kesha's We Are Who We Are, Perry's E.T., featuring Kanye, Last Friday Night TGIF, Britney Spears' Hold It Against Me, Perry's Part of Me and Roar, Miley Cyrus's Wrecking Ball, Perry's Dark Horse, Pitbull's Timber, and Nicki Minaj's Super Freaky Girl. So he's, you know, come out with he's got a lot of hits, even though, you know, like I said, all the stuff that happened with him and allegedly R-wording and drugging Kesha at a 2005 party, and they settled in 2023, but we can't, you know what, we can't sit and deny that Dr. Puke was an essential part of the 2020s, like the turn of the century, with a lot of big hits that we still bump to this day. Now, number 1, it is well deserved. It's Max Martin. So it makes sense that we would have him on the list because, you know, he gave us Baby One More Time with Britney Spears. He also gave us Pink So What, Kelly Clarkson's My Life Will Suck Without You, Spears' 3, Katy Perry's California Girls, Perry's Teenage Dream, Pink's Rachel. You know, they all kind of work within the same confines of each other. Like, they're all a descendant of, if you really think about it, a lot of these artists are descendants of, like, Max Martin. The Shellbacks, the Circuits, the, what do we say? The Dr. Pukes. They all are descendants of Max Martin, who's been around for a long time. He's like a vampire. So yeah, where was I? Katy Perry's California Girls, Perry's Teenage Dream, Pink's Raise Your Glass, Spears' Hold It Against Me, Perry's E.T., Last Friday Nights, and Part of Me, Maroon 5's One More Night, Taylor Swift's We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, Perry's Roar, Dark Horse, Swift Shake It Off, Blank Space, and Bad Blood featuring Kendrick Lamar, The Weeknd's I Can't Feel My Face, Justin Timberlake's Can't Stop the Feeling, The Weeknd's Blinding Lights, and they said the number 1 hit on Billboard's greatest of all-time Hot 100s song chart. The Weeknd's Save Your Tears with Ariana Grande, Frappuccino, Coldplay and BTS's My Universe, and Grande's Yes and We Can't Be Friends, Wait for Your Love, both that came out last year in 2024. And as you already know, he has worked on Taylor Swift's upcoming album, Life of a Showgirl, that's coming out on October 3rd. So the man's still not slowing down. And because I was saying they are descendants of, and it's funny because I didn't even read it. It says it in here, but it's just like, if you really listen to a lot of the music, like when you listen to Shellback, you listen to Circuit, you can definitely tell that they are descendants or they were mentored by Max Martin. And it actually said it in here. They were like, you know, he's mentored several producers on the list. So a lot of these people have been influenced by Max Martin's sound, and he's done all genres of music. He's done rock, he's done pop, he's done dance, he's a jack of all trades. Basically, he can jump in and out of any other genre and conjure a hit. So Bubblegum Pop. Like, he's done all the different vibes. But I do agree. I mean, while this is a great list, I think it needs to be more than 25, but I get it. It's the 25 years in. He had to pick 25 people. Some of these people on this list are, but for the most part, I feel like Missy Elliott was missing. She should have been in there. Mark Ronson should have been on the list. The Neptunes that's disrespectful because the Neptunes had as much hits, if not more, than Timbaland. So I don't know how you don't have the Neptunes on the list, but you got Timbaland. What, you think only one futuristic producer was enough to be the representation? So Billboard, y'all tried it with your list, but it's all right. Y'all do what y'all do, and we know every time y'all come out with something, it was not you, it was Rolling Stone. Y'all come out with something, we got a side eye y'all, and we sit up in here and we have our little discourses like we doing now, and then we move on to the next thing. So with that being said, I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story regarding, do you agree with this list that they came out with, even down to the top 5 that we finally got around to? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below.